Hey everyone, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in to Relevant Jukebox, and today I got another vinyl update. So I got another batch of 10 records here, rounding up a lot of pickups that I made last year. I probably have about like 15 or 16 records left for my recent pickups, and there really hasn't been any new ones entering my collection recently. So eventually I'm gonna get around to tackling the whole thing A to Z. But for now, let's just get through the rest of these recent pickups. Starting off with one of my favorite hip hop records of 2019, Freddie, Gibbs, and Madlib. Bandana. Really good follow-up here to Pinata, which, you know, I thought the expectations were really high because Pinata was so amazing. With this delivered, don't like it as much as Pinata, but still really awesome. This is the Newberry Comics press out of 500 on highlighter yellow, which is really cool. It's 150 gram too, so a little bit thicker than usual. And what came with the record, there was a sticker on the front of it that said, "This literally comes with a piece of paper," and they were not joking. There's just a single piece of paper here that gives you a lot of information actually on the production of each track, which is really cool. Next up, probably my favorite punk record of 2019, which was Otoboke Beaver, Itekoma Hits. Really stoked to add this to the collection. Really speedy, fast, crazy off the walls punk out of Japan from this female quartet, which is really awesome. And it is a super cool color pressing. It's the orange with black splatter. Just looks really cool. There were a couple cool variants of this album, actually. I landed on this one. I'm not really quite sure how many were pressed, but you might still be able to grab this on their Bandcamp. Next up, an amazing debut record from a band out of the UK, Black Midi, Schlagenheim. Highly suggest this record if you have not heard it and you are a fan of rock music. This is a cool gatefold, too. Got a lot of stuff going on there. Their artwork is very dense and complex. Like, I can't even really make out anything on the front cover. Like, it's a bunch of metal, like, scrapped together. But yeah, this is a really awesome rock record from, you know, a band with a really fresh sound right now, I think. This is just a standard black. But you see, they have some really nice labeling. Really curious to hear what the follow-up to this album is going to be like, as, you know, I really think, I have no idea, actually, what's coming. Next up, another really solid hip-hop record from last year, You Know What I'm Saying by Danny Brown. Solid album from Danny here, showing like a matured sound. I'm glad that he stuck with Warp on this one. This one did come with some cool extras. You do have that really cool, like, neon orange OBI strip, which I thought was a nice touch. You don't really see that on too many records nowadays. And it came with this ridiculous, like, sticker sheet that's, you know, pretty zany and goofy. I have no idea what to do with these yet, so I'm kind of just holding on to them. I'll do something with them someday. And I love the inner sleeve artwork. Really trippy from Danny. And this is just a black vinyl, but awesome labeling. Next up, I have the sophomore full-length album from the band Whitney, Forever Turned Around. I thought this was a really solid indie rock record from last year from Whitney. I liked it more than their first album. The melodies on this record are pretty golden. You know, it's got a very warm and gentle sound, but sort of a creepy, bitter nature to it when you look into the lyrics. But this is the Forest Bark brown version. I don't really know how many of these were pressed. But it does match the cover really nicely. Moving right along here, filling out some of my Fugazi collection. I have In on the Kill Taker, kind of an underrated record from them, but I like it a lot. This is just like a standard reissue on black, I believe. Yep, just on black. But, you know, nice thick press, probably like 150 gram. And next up, I have another really awesome Fugazi record, Red Medicine. Just, you know, filling up my Fugazi collection here. These were for a very good price from Newberry Comics. I think I picked them up in one of the sales, again, late last year. Another black pressing, nice little labeling there. But, you know, I still have to get Repeater. I do not have that on vinyl, which is a crime. Next up here, I have a classic hip-hop album, Old Dirty Bastard, Return of the 36 Chambers. And this is the dirty version. But I picked this up from Newberry Comics. I don't know. I think it was, again, they do these sales every once in a while that you can get records for your collection for pretty decent prices in their stores. This was the opaque yellow limited pressing. This is out of 600. Kind of fell back in with ODB recently. And I figure, you know, gotta pick up this album. This is the other press. It's really cool. It's blue. Nice little opaque blue. So it goes really nicely with the cover art. And yeah, I was happy to pick this one up. Next up, I have the latest from girl band, Talkies, or the Talkies. Yeah, this is a pretty awesome noise rock, kind of like no wave post-punk blend of an album here. Little gatefold action there. So, you know, this is their second album. They haven't really put out too much music, but I did enjoy this quite a bit. You know, nice little inner sleeve presentation. And this is one of the limited presses. It is on a light blue vinyl. It's like almost like a sky blue. Again, not really sure how many of these there are. But I picked this up through Rough Trade. And rounding out this batch of records from my vinyl update is the best pop record of 2019, in my humble opinion. Charli XCX. Charli, whoo, look at that cover. You know, this record, again, still blows my mind when I revisit it. It's a nice gatefold here. We got more Charli action going on there. But this record is mind-bending in so many ways, I think, and it's really ahead of the curve. I really enjoy Charli as a singer. The production on this album is really cool, and it comes on a really, really nice ultra clear vinyl. It said limited edition. I'm not 100% sure how many of these there were. Doesn't really say online anywhere, but you know, this was an essential to pick up and add to the collection. If you were at all curious about pop music and maybe you hadn't dipped your toes into it too heavy yet, definitely suggest maybe starting with Charli XCX. Because I think there's a lot of crossover appeal there. So that concludes my next batch for my vinyl update here. Keep a lookout for another one coming out probably in about a week or so. Let me know down in the comments below if you guys have been picking up any records, which ones you've added to your collection recently. And as always, thank you for watching. If you like this video, I'd appreciate if you drop a like down below. And if you want more content from me, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Peace.